HP's compact Z2 mini desktop workstations have long been favorites of ours. Though we found little wrong with the previous model, HP decided to redesign it anyway, and the subsequent Z2 Mini G9 starts at $1,209, about $3,000 as tested, is the best yet. Intel's 12th generation Alder Lake Silicon brings vastly improved performance to this Wii workstation, and the new model even finds room for an industry-standard replaceable graphics card. Naturally, a larger tower chassis will provide more expandability, but if saving space tops your list, so should the Z2 Mini G9. It easily takes Editor's Choice honors as a super petite workstation. Granted, the Mini G9's body doesn't hold everything. PCs this small inevitably resort to laptop-style external power bricks with no room for an internal power supply. The workstation comes with either a 180 or 280-watt adapter. Among mini PCs, the Intel Nuke 12 Extreme kit fits its power inside but is far larger, 7.4 by 4.7 by 14 inches, about 2.5 times the HP's volume, yet doesn't use a full wattage CPU. Sticking with 65-watt processors, the HP impressively scales to the 125-watt chips you'd find in full-size towers, such as the flagship Intel Core i9-12900K in our test unit. An optional VESA mount allows the Z2 Mini G9 to sit under a desk or behind a monitor, so it takes no desk space at all. For desk use, it can rest horizontally on its rubber feet or sit vertically in its included stand. Showing off HP's attention to detail, the Z logo on the front can be rotated to match the orientation. The power button is on the opposite side. Backplane connectivity includes 3 USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, 2 DisplayPort video outputs for the Intel CPU's integrated graphics, and high-bandwidth 10 gigabits per second Ethernet. The graphics card, a 12 GB NVIDIA RTX A2000 in our unit, offers 4 mini DisplayPort video outputs, a Kensington lock slot, and the power connector rounded out. Alternatively, the left bank can hold various other ports, serial, Ethernet, USB Type A, or Thunderbolt, or video outputs, DisplayPort, HDMI, or VGA. The right flex bank is unpopulated here, but it can be configured with 2 more USB-A ports and a serial port. Depending on the ports you choose, the Z2 Mini G9 can support up to a remarkable 8 monitors. The flex banks are removable and thus can be changed after purchase even if the system wasn't originally ordered with them. Overall, this little workstation's I/O is impressive. Getting inside the Z2 Mini G9's all-metal chassis takes seconds. Just press a rear release tab and slide the top half of the chassis rearward. Security-minded owners can prevent access by using the Kensington lock slot. The system also has a tamper lock, which uses sensors to detect if the chassis is opened and automatically locks the BIOS. Not a millimeter is wasted in the neatly organized interior. The eye-catching copper CPU heatsink uses a vapor chamber to improve effectiveness. Its cooling fan is generally well-behaved, though the noise can be noticeable. You might get some looks in a quiet office while stressing the system to the max. In general use, however, the workstation makes little noise. The left side of the chassis holds the HP's industry-standard graphics card. Now, you can't get too crazy. Choices are limited to half-height, half-length cards powered by the PCI Express 5.0 slot, which limits the selection to 75-watt cards. The top choice is the 12 GB RTX A2000 seen here. It's nevertheless impressive that a system this small accommodates GPU upgrades at all. The previous Z2 Mini G5 did, but it used proprietary cards. Removing the graphics card reveals 2 M.2 PCI Express Gen 4 slots. Our unit had a single 1 TB solid-state drive, what HP calls a Z Turbo drive, a Micron 3400 that's essentially an OEM version of the crucial P5 Plus. The SSD is properly covered by a heatsink. HP offers up to 8 TB of storage, 2 4 TB drives. To the right of the M.2 2280 slots is an M.2 2230 slot for the Intel AX211 wireless card, which supports Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth 5.2. Thankfully, the card's antenna is built into the chassis, avoiding external protrusions. You can also see a heatsink covering the 2 DDR5-4800 SODIMM memory modules under the CPU fan, the latter lifting away after loosening 2 screws. The memory ceiling is 64 GB, 232 GB modules. All told, the Z2 Mini G9 is as serviceable as a mini PC could hope to be. Minus the tiny motherboard, nearly everything is standardized and user upgradable. It almost goes unsaid that the HP's expansion possibilities are much more limited than those of even a small form factor or mid-hour, with just two M.2 storage drives and 2 RAM sockets. It's just something to accept with a system this size. You could at least alleviate its limited storage with an external Thunderbolt drive array, or NAS. For software, the Mini G9 has bloatware-free Windows 11 with just HP's support apps installed. Remote workers can use HP's Z Central Remote Boost to